Yeah, we back. Yeah, we back. Now, today we're going to be talking about Young Dolph. First of all, rest in peace, Young Dolph, man. I believe he passed away back in the end of 2021. And it was around that time that I pretty much stopped listening to, I stopped keeping up with hip hop altogether. Like I stopped keeping up with the new releases, new mixtapes, new albums. Kind of just fell back off it right around the time that Young Dolph had died. Outside of my own music, it's probably only one other artist that I keep up with whenever he drops some new releases. But besides that, I don't really keep up anymore. I kind of fell back off that, man. And when Young Dolph had died, that really messed me up. That was that was definitely one of the artists that I had a lot of respect for. Definitely a black man, not even just as an artist or a hip hop artist, just as a black man, period. Young Dolph, I had a lot of admiration for Young Dolph, had a lot of respect for Young Dolph, inside the studio and outside the studio. So when y'all killed him like that, man, I can't say I was surprised, but man, y'all really messed me up with that one. I swear to God, y'all messed me up with that one. The one thing I loved the most about Dolph was his message to his fan base, but especially young black men, was to remain independent, control your own destiny, and look after your family, right? That was the message that I was left with. Whenever I listened to his music or his interviews, that was pretty much the theme of his brand. He exemplified what it meant to be a self-made man, a self-made black man, especially a businessman, somebody who maximized your profits, owning your masters, taking charge of your future. And I would definitely say, out of the rappers that was out during that time, I would definitely say that Dolph was one of the more intelligent brothers, for sure. Was definitely one of the more intelligent brothers, for sure. And when we lost him, we lost a major asset. We lost a good one. Y'all killed a good one, man. Y'all killed a good one. Rest in peace, Dolph, man. Rest in peace. But luckily for Dolph and his family, and also the mother of his children, due to the fact that when he was alive, when he was on the earth, he made the proper moves, right? He made the proper business moves. I believe that his family's going to be set for life. Because not only did he maintain ownership over his music, which still gets millions of streams still to this day, right? He still has millions of listeners on Spotify and Apple Music and things like that, and as well as YouTube. But also, take a look up on the screen. Young Dolph owned over 100 Memphis properties and bought foreclosures for his children's birthdays, right? So obviously, when Dolph was getting his money in the music game, he definitely made the proper moves with his profits to make sure that even though he's no longer here, his son and his daughter, as well as the mother of his children, they're going to be all right. They're going to be all right. So, like I said, man, even after he's gone, Dolph still impressing me, man. Even after he's gone, Dolph still impressing me, man. Man, rest in peace, Dolph, one more time, man. Now, let's get into the topic of today's video. As you already know, Young Dolph's murder trial is going on right now. It's day one of the trial. Right? The suspects are in the courtroom, and now they're presenting the evidence to the jury. Take a look up on the screen. The trial begins. Yo Gotti's brother had ordered the $100,000 hit on Young Dolph's life. Now, there was some speculation going on about this in the streets for quite a long time, right? Everybody speculated about it even the same day it happened. But now, the prosecutors are presenting the evidence, and they now confirmed it. That yes, it was Yo Gotti's brother, it was Yo Gotti's team that is the chief assassins behind the death of Young Dolph. Now let's continue. The three men charged with murdering Young Dolph are now on trial, and it kicked off with a bombshell allegation about who was behind the shooting. During the opening statements, the district attorney accused the late Big Jook, that was Yo Gotti's brother, of being responsible after he offered $100,000 to anyone who could kill Young Dolph to end their ongoing beef. Now, the beef between Yo Gotti and Dolph, that goes back several years, man, and there's been several public incidents and diss tracks. And just to break it down in a very quick and easy way, right? So as you already know, Yo Gotti, coming out of Memphis, both of these black men are from Memphis. Yo Gotti was the superstar out of Memphis. He was the original guy who was, running shit back in Memphis. And then Young Dolph came onto the scene, some years later. So when Dolph began to blow up, Yo Gotti, in an attempt to essentially buy out the competition, right? He tried to sign Young Dolph to his company, to his label. And Young Dolph, one thing I loved about Dolph, besides the fact that, he invested heavily in real estate and he had a very solid business mind, was the fact that when he came into the rap game, when he came into the music game, he came in with his own money, right? He came in independently, right? He didn't really need a record label to really blow him up because he was able to invest his own capital to send his songs to the DJs and invest and make his own mixtapes and promote his own mixtapes. So when Dolph blew up, right, that was off his own grind. That was off his own hustle. So he didn't really need to sign to a record label. So he had declined the offer from Yo Gotti to sign to his record label. So according to Dolph, this also kind of fueled some tension because I guess Gotti felt some type of way about that when he rejected the offer. And there was also some rumors going around that Young Dolph had also slept with the mother of Yo Gotti's children, right? So, Yo Gotti's baby mama had slept with Dolph, and Dolph had actually mentioned that in one of his diss tracks to Yo Gotti, right? If you know that classic diss track called, Young Dolph, don't play with me, play with your bitch. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Now, as an outsider, if you ask me, I believe that was the root cause of Yo Gotti's animosity. I don't really think it was the fact that Young Dolph rejected the offer to sign to his company, because that's just business. I think that it was some personal issues going on, right? They probably had some dealings with a female, and Young Dolph tended to rub that in his face, right? He tended to rub that in his face heavily. So it was also some rumors going around that behind the scenes, Yo Gotti was trying to, sabotage Young Dolph's career by trying to have him blackballed in the industry. As you already know, Yo Gotti's already established in the industry, signed to the major record labels. He has connections with, he's industry. Yo Gotti is industry, right? So Young Dolph was not really industry. He wasn't signed to the big major record labels. He didn't have the same backing, right? Because Yo Gotti was trying to leverage his connections in the industry to blackball Young Dolph. And Young Dolph would mention this, frequently, openly, right? He would openly say, fuck Yo Gotti, right? For such and such, you a hater, right? So that also fueled the tension and the anger and the rivalry between the two.
Hey, I've been spurring your bitch ass for years, nigga. The whole city know that. Ho Gotti, you was a bitch ass nigga. I just got back to the city. They say you trying to put charges on me and put the police on me. You send your little nigga out to do all your talking. Talk for yourself, bitch ass nigga. Hey, that big head Down syndrome looking motherfucker hate on everybody from the city that gets some real money. You start out hating on 3-6, nigga, and they were having Oscars and shit, nigga. You had to hate because you were broke, nigga. That's the only way you can get attention, boy. You were broke, boy. Now you hating on Dolph, nigga. You a bitch, nigga. Hey, man, if I was your pussy ass boy, I'd be mad at me too, man. Why you mad at me? Because your bitch ass on fake watch busters and you had to fake it till you make it, bitch ass nigga. And I came in the game rocking real ice driving coupes and shit.
Now, I believe it was in 2017 where the beef kind of reached a different level, right? If you remember back in that time, take a look up on the screen. Over 100 shots fired at Young Dolph's SUV in Charlotte, North Carolina. The Memphis rapper escaped unharmed thanks to bulletproof panels. Now, Young Dolph, being the, self-made, arrogant, black man that he was, he used that incident to launch his next musical release, right? He released a mixtape shortly after entitled Bulletproof. And as you can see, it had like a bunch of shell casings on the floor, and he's standing in front of the SUV that they shot him in, the bulletproof SUV, right? He got the black suit on, he's suited and booted. Dolph was that guy, man. He got the jewelry on. Dolph was that guy. Dolph was that guy, man. Y'all killed a real one. Y'all killed a real one, man. We had a good one. We killed a good one, man. But if you remember on that mixtape, on the Bulletproof mixtape, I believe the single was actually entitled 100 Shots. You remember that song? 100 shots. 100 shots. How the fuck you miss a whole 100 shots?
100 shots. 100 shots. How the fuck you miss a whole 100 shots?
Now, that mixtape went crazy, man. That mixtape went crazy. Unfortunately, some months after that, take a look up on the screen. Young Dolph was shot near Hollywood Boulevard in Los Angeles. Now, this time they actually got him. This time they actually caught him. They actually, them bullets made contact, right? But still, he recovered. They didn't kill him, though, right? So after this, Dolph became even more arrogant because first, you hit me with 100 shots, nigga, you missed. You know what I'm saying? Second time, you hit me, but I'm still alive, right?
We at the motherfucking hospital, Jack. You know what I mean? Y'all know what time it is. This shit right here don't stop. Legendary shit. Shout out to Pop, shout out to Easy E, shout out to Biggie. You know what I mean? Y'all know what's up, man. New album dropping next week. You feel me? On the 20th, next Friday, Thinking Out Loud. Y'all know what's up, man. I got $1 billion lawyer with me, man. Y'all know what's up, man. Big. Yeah. I know they ain't think it was over with.
Now, it wouldn't be until way later, I believe in 2021, I believe that was when Dolph was actually hit up in his hometown of Memphis. I believe he was in town he was in town maybe a turkey drive, I think it was. He was giving turkeys away for Thanksgiving. or something like that. He was in town basically giving back to the community, holiday season, right? Back in November 2021. And that was when, once again, they tried to get him. And this time, unfortunately, they got him, right? They got him. Take a look up on the screen. Young Dolph shot and killed in Memphis, in his hometown of Memphis, while he was giving back to the community, right? And I believe that he was simply making a stop at a local black-owned business. And as you can see his car right here, Dolph had one of the craziest car collections, man. My man had the Rolls Royce. My man had the G-Class Benz. My man had the McLaren. My man had over 100 properties, man. Listen, keep in mind, this was all independent, right? All independent, no major record label, right? All he had was some distribution, and that was it, right? But no major record label, all independent, owned all his own masters, owned all his own material. And for somebody that was independent, he had a major fan base, right? He had a major fan base. So when it came to the southern markets, Young Dolph was a major player. That was a major name. Let's say, for example, I don't really know how much Spotify and Apple Music plays. I think if you get 1 million streams on Spotify and Apple Music, they'll probably pay you like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, somewhere like $3,000 to $6,000 per million streams, I think, right? I think. So let's say, Dolph averaged like, 20 million streams a month, right? Which is very well possible that he was doing around that range. That would probably be about $50,000, $60,000 a month, right? That's over $700,000 a year. And that's just from streaming. That's just from Spotify, Apple Music. We're not even talking about, live performances. Let's say he did 2 shows per weekend at $20,000 a show, just a modest number, right? That's $40,000 a weekend, $160,000 a month, $1.9 million a year. We're not even factoring the ad revenue from YouTube, right? The music videos and things like that, right? So let's say he was generating about 10 million views a month on YouTube, right? That's going to be about $30,000, $40,000, right? Over $300,000 a year. So when you tally all that up, and we didn't even count in Apple Music and the other streaming platforms like Tidal, right? So I believe they pay a little bit more in terms of Apple Music and Tidal. I believe Spotify pays the least. So let's say on Apple Music, he gets like what? $80,000 a month if he's getting like $60,000 from Spotify, right? And let's say Tidal is paying him like, I don't know, $70,000 a month. Across all the major streaming platforms, he would probably be estimated to be earning about $200,000 a month just from his music streaming alone by itself. We're not talking about his investment properties. We're not talking about nothing else. We're not talking about merchandise, YouTube, nothing else. We're not talking about the live performances. $200,000 a month. He could sit on his ass. $200,000 is coming in, right? Then you got to add in the other revenue sources like the live performances, right? You got to add that in. The YouTube ad revenue, the merchandise. And you could probably say from music alone, Dolph was generating at least $5 million, $6, $7 million a year straight cash coming from the music. We're not talking about none of his other revenue sources, the properties, the real estate, whatever type of businesses he might have had on the side, investments, nothing else. Just from music alone, Dolph was a multimillionaire. Now, if you remember at the beginning of the video, I had said that Yo Gotti's brother was the one that put the money up to assassinate Young Dolph. Well, take a look up on the screen. A few months back, right, at the beginning of the year, let's take a look at his headline. Yo Gotti's brother, Anthony Big Jook Mims, was shot and killed outside of a Memphis restaurant.
And there were 2 dudes in the back of the church scoping out Big Jook, and they waited for the perfect moment to catch Jook lacking. That moment would come at the repass after the farewell service outside of Perion's restaurant and event center on the 6300 block of Winchester Road. Gotti luckily didn't go to the repass because he might have suffered the same fate. Big Jook would enter his vehicle, and allegedly Yo Gotti Moms was also in the whip. But that wasn't stopping anything, and the shooter started busting, wetting up Big Jook and another homie that was in the car. Allegedly, his mom's, by a stroke of luck or God shielding her, was able to dip out the whip and run for her life, escaping the fatal shooting. Big Jook will be rushed to the hospital where, unfortunately, he succumbed to his injuries.
Good evening, Daniel. Well, at least 5 police sources have confirmed with Fox 13 that the person is Anthony Mims, also known as Big Jook. Now, Big Jook is the brother of rapper Yo Gotti.
Onlookers and surveillance footage captured a white SUV with no license plate speeding away from the scene, and police are on the hunt for the vehicle.
All right, we back. Now, the brother to the right, that's Big Jook to the right. The potato head looking motherfucker, right? You could tell he was a hater, right? You could tell he was a hater, man. You know, you could tell he was the type of guy that would take things so personal that he would want to shoot you. I mean, you get just ugly like a motherfucker. When somebody ugly like that, you got to stay away from these ugly motherfuckers, man. A wise man once told me, you got to stay away from these ugly motherfuckers. But one thing I want to say is this, right? Even though I'm very disappointed that y'all killed Young Dolph due to the fact that he had a beautiful family, he had a beautiful wife, beautiful children, just an overall beautiful situation, a very profitable business, lots of property, right? As a black man in America, and keep in mind, you know, we come from slavery, bro. We come from the sugar plantation and the cotton plantation, right? So to rise to where he rose to in his lifetime, man, shout out to Dolph, man. Shout out to Dolph, man. And you know, when somebody who was well respected like that in his community, who gave back to his community, who was well loved and admired by those in his community, and you think you're gonna kill somebody like that, and you think it's not gonna be some retaliation, some get back, some repercussions, you're out of your goddamn mind. After Dolph had died, for the next 2-3 years, Memphis was on fire. For the next 2-3 years, I believe when it came to the assassination of Dolph, I believe the chief conspirator was Yo Gotti's brother, Big Jook, right? But before Big Jook was killed, some of his other co-conspirators were also catching some retaliatory measures. I believe one of their daughters had actually got killed. So one of the co-conspirators with Yo Gotti's brother, his daughter actually got shot and killed. And also a close associate of one of the gunmen had also got assassinated as well. So there were many retaliatory shootings going on in Memphis to avenge the honor of Young Dolph, right? That basically, from what I could tell, that threw the city upside down. When y'all killed Young Dolph, y'all set the city on fire with that one. And then the grand climax was when Yo Gotti's brother himself, the chief conspirator of the assassination, he was shot and killed a few months back. So if he was still alive today, he'd probably be sitting in his courtroom on trial right now or sitting in a prison cell. So like I said, he was either going to go to jail or go to the cemetery. So like I said, it is what it is, man. Rest in peace, Young Dolph. I ain't going to say rest in peace, Big Jook. Fuck Big Jook. And fuck Yo Gotti too. Fuck CMG. Fuck that whole record label. You know what I'm saying? Y'all some clowns. Y'all killed the legendary black man. Y'all murdered a legendary black man. You see, Dolph, he wasn't even on that with y'all. He was entertaining. He was making music. Y'all took it to a whole different level, right? Y'all took it to a whole different level, right? You see, because like I said, a wise man once told me, you got to stay away from these ugly niggas. You know what I'm saying? You got to stay away from these ugly motherfuckers, bro. You can't be a fly and fresh young black man around these ugly motherfuckers, bro. They're going to start hating on you. They're going to start, trying to kill you. You know, and like I said, when Dolph slept with Yo Gotti's baby mama, oh man, I know you was mad. I know you was mad. I know you was mad, bro. I know you was mad, man. That's why I'm saying, if you a fly and fresh young black man, you get into it, you doing your thing, you gotta stay away from these hating ass dudes. You gotta stay away from these ugly motherfuckers, bro. I'm telling you. The only positive thing I can get from this situation is the fact that we can sleep at night knowing that Young Dolph, his death was avenged, right? He got justice, right? He got justice before the court system could give him justice, right? So that we know for sure. Dolph may not be here with us no more, but we know for a fact Dolph received justice.
But extra police presence wasn't stopping anything from going down. As much as they tried, it just didn't work. Dolph was taken out on November 17, 2021. By December 2021, a study showed that Memphis became one of the most unsafe cities in the country with a rise in homicides.
A new study finds Memphis is the most dangerous city in the country. This report comes as the Bluff City is on pace to surpass a record number of homicides.
Dead. I think Dolph got, was it 2020 or maybe 2021? Damn it. Young Dolph might have been the most loved nigga I've ever seen in the history of hip hop. I don't think there was more sliding about Pac, more sliding about Nipsey Hussle. Nigga, this type of sliding here, nigga, is a different... I didn't know that Dolph was loved like this. They've literally been Memphis for 3 straight years since Young Dolph died. I've never seen some shit like this.
Anyways, man, rest in peace to Dolph, man. Rest in peace to a real one. Rest in peace to a real black man. Rest in peace to a real black man, a true black man. My condolences to his wife, his family, his son, his daughter. But due to the fact that when Dolph was alive, he did what he had to do, I'm sure his family gonna be okay. And like I said, we can sleep comfortable knowing that Dolph received justice. And those who are responsible for his death, they're no longer here. They're no longer breathing. It's your boy Neferkari, that's Celine, back in the building, yes indeed. Cash App in the description. Support the channel, man. Support the channel. Support the album. Peace.
Why the fuck do you be so? Hey, why you keep your foot Yo.